Welcome in, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that you guys are doing well. So, Meta stock is having a really good day today. It is skyrocketing 10% after its quarter four 2025 earnings report came out yesterday. So, what we're going to do today is three different things. Number one, we're going to take a look at some news about the earnings report. Number two, we're going to take a look at the chart for Meta stock. And number three, we're going to take a look at some price targets for the stock. And I will also be sharing my price target for the stock as well, and just overall opinion on whether I think Meta stock is headed towards $1,000 per share. So we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Before we jump into that, I would like to mention on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Also, feel free to hit the like button and make some comments as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Meta stock. All right, so first, let's go ahead and take a look at some news about the Meta earnings report. So we're going to start with this one on CNBC. Meta shares jumped 10% on stronger than expected revenue forecast. Key points: Meta reported fourth quarter earnings on Wednesday that topped estimates and issued stronger than expected sales guidance. The stock popped as much as 10% in after hours trading. Meta said it expects first quarter sales to come in the range of 53.5 billion to 56.5 billion, ahead of analyst estimates of $51.41 billion. All right, so good stuff so far. We see Mark Zuckerberg here with his Oakley AI glasses. So let's look at the specific numbers here. Earnings per share came in at $8.88 versus $8.23 estimated. So they beat on earnings per share on the bottom line, and on the top line on revenue. Meta reported $59.89 billion versus $58.59 billion estimated. So they beat on the top line as well by over $1 billion. So very good results by Meta in Q4 of 2025. And some other good news or results that beat expectations. Meta said that its first quarter sales is expected to be 53.5 billion to 56.5 billion, which is ahead of analyst estimates of $51.41 billion. So that's good to see if you're an investor. The company said fourth quarter sales rose 24% year over year. Meta said that fourth quarter daily active people came in at 3.58 billion people, in line with Wall Street estimates. Capital expenditures related to the company's artificial intelligence push are expected to be in the range of $115 billion to $135 billion for 2026, ahead of analyst expectations of 110 billion, 0.7 for the year. So even with these expectations that capital expenditures will be significantly higher in 2026 than was previously expected. Even with those, if you want to think of it as negative news, the stock still went up because the sales forecast, the revenue forecast for Q1 of 2026 was significantly higher than expectations. So basically, even though capital expenditures will be significantly higher, sales will also be significantly higher in Q1 of 2026. So um, the investors are overlooking the increased capital expenditures numbers and focusing on the increased sales forecast. So, and I think it was expected that capital expenditures would be increasing. So, very good news for Meta investors. Let's see if there's anything else in here. So it just mentions the company's Reality Labs logged an operating loss of $6.02 billion. Meta laid off more than 1,000 Reality Labs employees. All right. So far, very good news. Meta beat on earnings per share on revenue. Um, Revenue forecasts for Q1 of this year are significantly higher than expected, but capital expenditures are significantly higher. They're going to be in 2026 than expected. So a mixed bag, but nonetheless, the stock still popped 10%. Let's see what else we can find. Facebook parent Meta earns $201 billion in 2025. AI investments weigh on expenses. So a lot of the same information here. So Mark Zuckerberg said that we had strong business performance in 2025. And he said that I'm looking forward to advancing personal super intelligence for people around the world in 2026. So Zuckerberg is all in on AI and super intelligence. So no looking back at this point. So it just mentions on here Meta continued to invest heavily in its data centers and technical infrastructure throughout 2025. All right, let's see what else we got. Meta beats Q4 2025 sales expectations. All right, so this has some more numbers here. Operating margin 51 or 41.3%, down from 48.3% in the same quarter last year. Free cash flow margin 23.5% up from 20.7% in the previous quarter. Daily active people 3.58 billion, up 230 million year on year. So even with Meta already having such a significant market share online and just in social media, they're still able to increase daily active people on their platforms. So I think that's very impressive that they're still able to do that at this stage. And this will be the last news article we take a look at. Meta Platforms stock investors just got fantastic news from CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Key points: Meta Platforms is leaning into its widely successful AI strategy. The company revealed that it continues to increase both its user base and engagement. All right. So, again, this is all going to have very similar information. All right. And Meta is creating even more hardware products with their AI glasses um, and just other hardware that they're creating, like earpieces. I think they also create watches. So Meta is creating more and more hardware products as well. So that's good to see. All right. So next, we're going to take a look at the chart for Meta stock. So let's see what Meta stock is up to today. It is trading at $738.31. That was the close, and it was up almost $70 today, which was an increase of over 10%. So, a really good day today for Meta stock. The very good financial results are being rewarded in the stock price. So, let's go ahead and take a look here. So, this is the 1 day chart here. Take a look at the 5 day chart next. All right, so we can see the past 5 days, the stock was in the mid 600s, 660, 670. Earnings report comes out on January 28th after the market close, and the stock pops into the low 700s and has been continuing to rise since then. So, a very nice pop in the stock after the earnings report. 1 month chart. Again, the stock has been in the 600s for several months now. And most recently, it's popped up nicely back up into the 700s. So, after a few months of just kind of being flat, it's nice to see the stock back in the 700s. Same story for 3 months. On the previous earnings report, the stock was already in the 700s, but since then, the last 3 months, the stock went down into the 600s and has been in that range for quite a while. So, again, now it's rebounded back into the 700s. So, the last 3 months for the stock have been flat, um, and the stock was just kind of trading sideways. So, it's nice to see it get back to its previous level after this earnings report. 1 year chart, the stock is up $61, up 9%. So the stock hasn't really moved much in a year. So January of last year, the stock was in the low 700s at one point. And then since then, it's just kind of been in a range of $600 to $700. Um, and now it's back up into the 700s. So not a very impressive looking 1 year chart, but if you were able to buy the stock when we had a tariff situation in April, the stock has gone up significantly since then. And if you were able to buy the stock here when it went below $600 in November, it's rebounded nicely again since those two levels. So In 2025, we had two good buying opportunities for Meta stock. It was April with the tariff situation, and again, it was in November when the stock went down significantly after the Q4 2025 or the Q3 2025 earnings report that came out. So those were good buying opportunities for the stock, but not the best looking 1 year chart. The 3 year chart looks a lot better. The stock is up over $580 over the past 3 years. It's up over 386%. And this chart looks really good to me. So in 2022, we had the correctionary year and recessionary year with all the stocks went down. But as soon as 2023 came around, the stock went from 200s to 300s, 400 range here, and it just continuously gone up. It's had some significant dips here and there. Um, Again, this was the tariff situation. It went down significantly, but this was a good buying opportunity. The stock went up a lot. The stock went down here in the most recent earnings report from last year. And then from there, the stock is on a path to rebounding. So it looks like Meta stock is rebounding very nicely, and it should be heading towards new all-time highs, towards $800, 900, and eventually $1,000 per share. So that is a good looking 3 year chart. Let's take a look at the 5 year chart to see what that looks like. All right. Let me just refresh this for a second. All right, 5 year chart. Meta stock is up over $479. It's up over $185. So this isn't also the best looking chart, but the stock went down significantly in 2022. You were able to get the stock for around $90 in 2022. Since then, it's gone up all the way to the 700s, close to $800. So significant increase in the stock over the last 5 years. And let's take a look at the max chart. The stock is up over $708, up over 2,300%. Back in 2012, the stock was around $20, $30. Significant growth all those years. Had some significant dips like 2022, tariff situation in 25, disappointing results from last year's earnings report, and now the stock is back on an upward trajectory, should be crossing $800 in the near future. All right, so next, let's see if we can find some up to date price targets for Meta stock after the earnings report. So the stock is at 738 right now. So here on the right, based on 67 analysts, they have a strong buy recommendation for the stock. Out of those 67, 51 have a strong buy rating, 11 have a buy rating, 5 have a hold, and 0 for sell and strong sell. So it looks like all of these analysts are bullish on the stock. Nobody's recommending to sell it. Based on these 59 analysts, the 12-month price target is $845.56. The stock is at 738 right now. So this would be another $100 increase in the share price in the next 12 months. And this is up to date. This is as of today. So it looks like these analysts are very bullish on the stock. Go ahead and take a look at some other price targets that came out on the stock after the earnings report. So in this one, Meta stock price target maintained at $820 by TD Cohen on strong results. Truist Financial issues positive forecast for Meta Platforms stock price. Truist Financial raised its price target on Meta from $875 to $900, which would imply a 34.6% upside from the prior close. Citizens reiterates Meta stock rating at market outperform with a $900 target. Meta stock price target raised to $900 from $875 at Truist Securities. Meta stock price target raised to $890 from $808 at Monnes, Crespi, Hart. Meta platform stock forecast trending bullish among analysts. So we'll go through some of these. Jeffrey of Pivotal Research Group reiterated his buy rating with a $910 price target. Wolf Research also reiterate a buy rating with an $850 price target. Citi reiterated a buy rating and $850 price target. Bank of America reiterates buy with an $885 price target. So all of these analysts are bullish on the stock. All of them increased their price targets into the high 800s, low 900s. So that's good to see if you're an investor. And we'll take a look at this one as well. So for Meta, the stock closed at 738. Average price target is $851, which would be an increase of 15% if that happens. 61 analysts offering a 1-year price forecast have a maximum estimate of $1,144 and a minimum of $700. So on the max, that would be a 55% increase in the stock from current levels, and the average is 15%. So all these analysts are still bullish on the stock. They think it's going to continue to go up into the 800s, 900s, and eventually over $1,000. So very bullish sentiment for Meta stock, and they had a really good earnings report. All right, so next, I'm just going to give my thoughts and opinions on Meta stock and my price target as well. So this was a really good quarter for Meta stock, beat on earnings, on revenue, sales forecast. The negative side is that capital expenditures are going up. So they're investing even more and more into AI. But nonetheless, the stock still popped 10%. Meta is one of the best, if not the best, tech companies in the world. So they're just going to continue these results. I think Meta is one of the best stocks to own in a portfolio. I think the stock is just going to continue to go up. It is going to have some dips here and there, but those are going to be good buying opportunities. I think that the capital expenditures into AI will pay off more and more as the months and years roll along. And I'm very bullish on Meta stock. The stock is at 738 right now. Um, in 12 months from now, I think the stock is going to approach $1,000. So I think it'll be around $950 to 1,000. That's my 1 year price target for the stock. And I think, again, it's one of the best stocks to own. The company's amazing. They're just going to continue to build even more hardware products. AI is going to continue to pay off more and more. So I like Metastack a lot, and I think it's just going to get even better from here. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to share as far as Metastack. I really hope you liked the video and got some value out of the content. If you did, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. Hit that like button, make some comments on what you think of Metastack.